We've gotten to the part of the year where the waiver wire is getting pretty tricky. There are less options on the waiver wire that you feel good about. Some of these players are going to hit left and right. Some of these players are going to have their moments. Some of these players are just going to bust and flatline and then hit right when you return them back to the waiver wire. That's just kind of how the cookie crumbles with the waiver wire. So one thing we want to look at is young guys with upside, young guys who, if they hit, can go nuclear, or guys who have matchups here next few weeks who are gaining opportunity in their offense that could do something for us. A player that we're going to look at today is Josh Downs, wide receiver of the Indianapolis Colts, a rookie who was highly sought after during the draft process as we looked at him day in, day out, a nuanced route runner with good ball skills. And we're going to decide whether or not you need him or not for fantasy football. But what you really need to do is click that subscribe button right now. Click it with your mouse, tap it with your finger on your phone. Stop missing out on these deep dives because we're covering these lesser known players off the waiver wire. We're covering these players to help you win trades. And we're also helping you set those lineups every week with those must-start, sneaky start videos on Fridays and Saturdays. So hit that subscribe button. Stop missing out. But let's look at Josh Downs real quick here. So we're starting to see a little bit of production out of him. 13 fantasy points last week, 7 fantasy points the week prior, and we're starting to see more snaps as he had an 80% snap share last week versus 75 and 79 the week prior. So we're looking at a wide receiver who's starting to get some opportunity in the offense, and he's getting some opportunity in this offense rather quickly for a rookie who was drafted in the 3rd round, and we're seeing him get some opportunity here, and this offense is very fun to watch as you got Anthony Richardson, Minshew, both of them in and out of quarterback due to injuries. And the thing about this is things could change on a dime on this team rather quickly, especially for Josh Downs, a younger wide receiver who's still just learning the NFL game, getting acclimated right now. And looking at his production right now, it's on an upward trend right now because he's getting more acclimated. We're getting in different game scripts. We're getting an idea of what his role could be in certain situations. And one thing we can tell is if the game script breaks or if the team is up, then he might see some more opportunities. We're also seeing him get opportunities on the shorter routes, which could lead to volume in certain matchup situations here where they can't chuck it downfield and they got to play it short. He is your short stick. He is that short game golf club that you have in your bag that you wheel out there. Your chip piece, whatever you want to call him. That's Josh Downs. You have Michael Pittman there soaking up targets. He's going to get you some targets in this passing game because we're already seeing it. 7 in his first ever game, 12 last week, 5 in week 2 in a weird game script against the Texans. So he's getting volume. He's getting opportunity. We're 3 games into his career for a 3rd round rookie who's seeing a lot of snaps. That's a good thing to see. And then wheeling back to his collegiate career, because we need to look at that because we're only 3 games into his NFL season. You need to know what this player is about. If you've been following along for Dynasty Fantasy Football, you know about him because we talked about him damn near every day. 2,000-yard receiving seasons, broke out at age 19 in 2021. And this is a player who's been productive, played with some good quarterbacks in college at North Carolina, and is very efficient. Good ball skills for his size. He plays bigger than his stature when the ball's in the air. Very nuanced route runner, can create separation. He's more suited for the slot, but he can play on the outside a tiny bit because of how nuanced he is. But it looks like this team wants to keep him in the slot, wants to keep him in the short to intermediate parts of the passing game. 8.8 average depth of target last year and 8.5 the year prior. Those were the years where he was seeing the most volume. And he is a guy that's nuanced, that is very dependable, very reliable, sticky hands, and that's something you want to see out of your wide receivers. All in all, when we were putting chips on him this offseason during the draft process, we were saying, hey, he's at least going to be a good NFL wide receiver. Let's see if he can go in a situation. Let's see if he can get opportunities to be a good fantasy wide receiver. But we can't see how he cannot be a good NFL wide receiver. And here it is. We're already seeing it. We're already seeing him do some things. He's already a good NFL wide receiver. So maybe we can get to that top tier or at least a productive fantasy asset. But looking at the breakout age 19, breakout in market share, 40.16% share of the passing offense during his second season. Early breakout age is an indicator that you can transition quickly to the next level. He transitioned quickly from high school to college, and now he's transitioning quickly from the college game to the NFL game. Below that, you get the yards per team pass attempt, 3.49. That's elite. That means he was a huge weapon in the passing game. For North Carolina, he was heavily used, and we saw that with him getting a 40% market share in 2021 and then a 23% in 2022. The offense was a little bit different. We had a quarterback change and everything, but he was still productive. The highlight tape was still there. He was still putting together big moments, as we saw, which allowed him to get drafted in the third round. 316 in the draft, 5'9", 171 pounds. He's already pegged as a slot receiver when you look at his stature, but he does play bigger than his size. He does have very, very good ball skills, very sticky hands, and a nuanced route runner. And then looking at the athleticism, more than fast enough to get the job done. The speed score's lower because he's a smaller wide receiver, but more than fast enough to get the job done at the NFL level. Burst score solid. Agility score solid. That really allows him to move side to side, move in a phone booth, create separation, break off routes. Good production throughout his career on the college dominator rating right there, which accounts for touchdowns and yards from a market share standpoint. So again, a very productive wide receiver from the college level, and we're seeing some production early on a small sample at the NFL level. And the Colts have more volume than expected, considering they got a rookie quarterback, considering they're playing their backup quarterback, 60 plays per game, 40 pass plays per game, which sounds like a lot because it is 5 years ago, but that's about middle of the road right now when you're looking at per play. However, that's still good. That's still a lot of volume there that can push these wide receivers. It's Michael Pittman getting a ton of targets, and then you got Josh Downs right behind him. Alec Pierce is the clear-out guy getting those deep balls. Josh Downs is going to be getting volume in this offense. So if the game script really pushes the pace, or if they're locking down Pittman, they're shadowing him, they got a safety over top, Josh Downs is going to get some work. He's going to get some opportunities. So you're going to have to look at the schedule here and just play the matchups, hope for the best, look at those over-unders and everything else. But Josh Downs is getting opportunity, and it's a good sign that we're 3 weeks into the season, and he's already flashing. And looking at the schedule here, I can say a couple things. We're going to have some moments where these games are going to pop off, and we're also going to have some ugly games, and that's with every team. You see the Titans there, you see the Patriots. We're going to see some lower game scripts. The Patriots, you want to watch a little bit because they are playing faster. They're throwing a little bit more, but they may be just playing to the game script as well. We're operating off a very small sample here. Jacksonville has been weird. Cleveland's been weird. The Saints, they like to throw it. They like to move the chains. That could be fun. Carolina, you can throw on them. You may want them on your team on week 9. You may want them on your team by week 9 there because you can throw them Carolina. We've seen that before. We've seen teams be able to do that. That's an interesting game script right there. So the thing about this, if you need a wide receiver, he's a guy to look at, but you may not need him right now because you don't trust the offense. You may not have enough spots on your team. The thing about this, if you're in a deeper team, deeper league, you're probably going to want to look at him because he's getting targets right now. He's getting an opportunity right now. He's getting the chance to play. He's getting the chance to develop, which means he could be getting a larger role here in the next few weeks. If something happens to Michael Pittman, we might see him get some deeper targets, which could make him more efficient for fantasy football purposes, which is good to see. Also, Dynasty, this might be your time to buy. This might be the last time to get in on him if you're looking to get him on the cheap, because I don't think people are FOMOing yet, but he was an early third-round pick, late second-round pick in rookie drafts earlier this spring, and some people were drafting him a little higher than that, but he fell in rookie drafts once we saw the draft capital, once we saw he was paired with a rookie quarterback. The market said, hey, let's push him down a little bit because he was going borderline first-round rookie range, early second-round rookie range, but now you can catch him at a discount still probably because he's not getting promoted too much. I might be changing that right now, But still, you may want to look at that from a dynasty fantasy football scenario, see if you can kick the tires, see what price he's at, because we're getting some indicators right now that he's going to be good. He's going to be good for fantasy football. He's getting some opportunities, and we saw this in his collegiate profile as well. The situation change coming into the NFL was a question mark, but looks like it's not going to be that big a deal. Again, for redraft, you want to see if you can catch him. You want to see if you can get him. You want to look at these matchups. He's a guy, though, you need to at least have on your watch list. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I want to hear about that. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on the way out. I'll catch you on the next video.